This K&N air intake system is designed to increase power and acceleration by reducing restriction in the intake path. K&N 63-9035 air intake fits 2010 and 2011 Toyota Tundra and Toyota Sequoia models with 4.6-liter engines. It comes with K&N's famous million-mile limited warranty. The 63-9035 air intake is not legal for highway use in California or other states adopting California emission standards. Check knfilters.com for an up-to-date list of models this air intake fits and for a list of other CARB adoption states. K&N power testing showed an estimated power gain of 13 horsepower at 5,517 RPM, with the 63-9035 air intake installed on a 2010 Toyota Tundra with a 4.6-liter engine. Actual results will vary depending on the condition of the vehicle, mileage, weather, and other variables. With the air intake installed, we ran the vehicle on the dyno to test the sound comparison versus the stock intake. The intake system includes components that have been designed or matched to the needs of these vehicles to produce a safe horsepower increase. Detailed installation instructions are included with this kit. The tools needed for this install are shown. Turn off the ignition and disconnect the negative battery cable. Lift up the engine cover to dislodge it from the mounting studs. Then remove the engine cover from the vehicle. Disconnect the fuel pressure regulator vacuum hose from the intake tube. Disconnect the crankcase vent hose from the T-fitting on top of the intake manifold plenum. Disconnect the mass air sensor electrical connection and unhook the wiring harness from the upper airbox. Loosen the hose clamp that secures the factory intake tube to the throttle body. Release the 4 latches securing the upper airbox to the lower airbox. Remove the upper airbox intake hose assembly from the vehicle. Loosen the 2 bolts securing the lower airbox into the vehicle. Remove the lower airbox from the vehicle. Install the 2 rubber-mounted studs onto the heat shield as shown, using the provided hardware. Install the 3 heat shield mounting brackets onto the heat shield using the provided spacers and hardware. Install the tube mounting bracket onto the rubber-mounted studs using the provided hardware. Install the provided shorter edge trim into the hole of the heat shield. Trimming of the edge trim will be necessary. Install the provided longer edge trim onto the heat shield. Remove the bolt that secures the ground strap to the inner fender. Set the heat shield into position on the inner fender. Then secure it with the factory bolt removed in step 18 using the provided hardware. Install the provided gasket onto the bottom of the K&N mass air sensor adapter. Remove the mass air sensor from the factory airbox. Install the mass air sensor into the K&N mass air sensor adapter and secure it with the provided hardware. Install the mass air sensor assembly into the K&N intake tube using the provided hardware. Install the provided NPT vent fittings into the K&N intake tube. Install the provided silicone hose onto the throttle body and secure it with the provided hose clamp. Install the K&N intake tube assembly into the silicone hose at the throttle body and align it with the tube mounting bracket on the heat shield. Secure the tube with the provided hardware and hose clamp. Install the filter adapter into the K&N air filter and secure it with the provided hose clamp. Install the provided silicone hose onto the filter adapter and secure it with the provided hose clamp. Install the filter assembly onto the K&N intake tube and secure it with the provided hose clamp. Connect the fuel pressure regulator vent line to the NPT fitting installed into the K&N intake tube. Install the provided crankcase vent line onto the NPT fitting installed into the K&N intake tube and connect the open end onto the factory T. Reconnect the mass air sensor electrical connection. Reinstall the engine cover. Reconnect the vehicle's negative battery cable. Double check to make sure everything is tight and properly positioned before starting the vehicle. It will be necessary for all K&N high-flow intake systems to be checked periodically for realignment, clearance, and tightening of all connections. Failure to follow the above instructions or proper maintenance may void warranty. K&N makes products for nearly every vehicle on the road. The K&N website allows you to search products by vehicle or dimension, download installation instructions, view dyno charts showing estimated horsepower gains for this product, and view product details. For information on where to buy K&N products, go to knfilters.com.